Hey everyone, so finally a DIY video after probably almost a year of really kind of neglecting my channel. So I was at the Goodwill the other day and I found this really amazing piece of furniture that I could not pass up on. I think it's supposed to be a desk, but I plan on using it as a vanity slash dresser. But it definitely needed some work, mainly cosmetic work. So anyway, I'm going to show it to you. Oops, sorry about that. So here it is, it's a desk, and as you can see here, this thing goes up and there's the two things that hold it, which need new dowels in them, by the way, because they fall out if you try to pull them out. It's ungodly hot out here today, so just bear with me. It's got drawers underneath. This key lime pie color, is actually the original color. It is not an antique. At first glance, I thought it was an antique, but it turns out that it's not. On the inside of one of the drawers, actually, there is a like a little plaque thingy explaining. Here we go. Oh shoot! It says Somerset Bay, which is definitely not an antique. So yeah, but here's the drawers. They had the pull-out handles were those little, like a disc with a ring, and the top drawer, the rings were missing. So I also bought some handles and some new hardware. These little oval-shaped things on the drawers, that's actually like a little fake keyhole thingy, which I thought was pretty cool. All the hardware is actually like a dark, like an antique dark, brassy, like color. Actually almost black. But I'm going to keep that color actually where all these little drawers go in here. So here's one. It's like this, just a dark, like a brass color. So yeah, and all these little cubbies have drawers. However, there is one drawer that's missing. It was like that when I bought it, so I'm guessing whoever donated this just kind of didn't want to deal with it anymore. I'm under the impression that this thing probably came from the home of someone who's somewhat affluent. If they're just going to donate something because it just has a drawer missing, then, you know, it's, I don't know, they can easily afford to just replace a piece of furniture instead of fixing it. But anyway, I've got the sides painted. I got the inside here painted. I'm using Rust-Oleum. Ooh, I almost tripped from my cardboard. I'm using Rust-Oleum Universal, and you can see here, like, these little splotches. I had one can of paint that when I tested it on the cardboard, and it was fine. However, when I went to actually paint with it, it just started gurgling out like all these little blobs of paint. And I didn't really notice it until after I had gotten started. And so I went ahead and finished that can of paint just to get something on there. Then threw that can of paint away. But I think what I'm going to do ultimately actually is cover this surface here with some black vinyl contact or something like that. Just to kind of give it more protection, since it's going to be open and closed. I'm going to be sitting things on there like when I do my makeup or when I do my hair, or if I just want to sit with my laptop and do something. I mean, it can be used as a vanity and a desk, technically. So I'm going to talk about the process of spray painting furniture for those of you who have never done anything like this before. Obviously, you want to make sure you buy something that is going to adhere well. You don't want to get cheap spray paint. Definitely, if you can afford to splurge on good quality spray paint, do that. Or if you would rather use like deck paint or something, that's also recommended. I didn't feel like using deck paint because then I don't want to be stuck with a can of paint and then not have another guaranteed project to finish it with right away. There's like a million cans of paint in this house. We're still getting rid of a lot of that stuff because my dad passed away last month, and I'll be making a vlog about that sometime in the near future. I just don't want to talk about it right this second. So yeah, there's already a ton of paint in the house. So I decided to go with Rust-Oleum Universal Gloss Black. Definitely when you're going to paint, when you get your spray paint, make sure you buy enough so that you have extra. And odds are you're going to end up using it because I do recommend doing 2 coats if you can. If you're inexperienced, you'll end up doing 2 coats just because you're going to notice flaws in your finish when the first coat dries, and you're going to and like be more practiced. Like think of like okay, imagine if you're painting a bridge and you start at one end of the bridge and then get to the other end. Obviously the end that you finish with is going to look a lot better than the end you started with, because by the time you reach the other end of the bridge you've gotten more practice and you have a routine down and you have your finesse and you have a better idea, you have understand what you're doing a little better. So that being said, so yeah, I use gloss black spray paint. However, I am noticing, being that I'm working outdoors, I'm having to combat wind. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like these hazy looking sort of spots on here where particles coming from the can, like as they became airborne, dried and then landed and then like stuck. You'll see like when you paint, you'll see particles hitting the paint, actually hitting the surface, but then you'll also see like this like misty sort of blow off. That's what that is. The misty blow off is actually paint that's when it comes out, it comes dry, and then sticks to another surface of what you're working on, and it creates these like matte looking spots in your finish. So I am going to go over this though with, I think, paint on polyurethane. I think actually my dad had some downstairs, I'm not sure. But yeah, some polyurethane or some kind of like really durable glossy sealant, because I want it to be like jet glossy black. I really don't want those like matte looking spots to really show. And of course, anytime you're working with something like this, if you're going to spray paint outside, you want to work in the shade. Ideally, you don't want your piece you're working on to be sitting in the sun too long. Otherwise, when you go to paint it, the heat on the surface will actually interfere with the performance of the paint. So as you can see, I mean, I came out here early today. It was like 11:30 maybe when I got out here. And it had been sitting in the garage, so it was cool. And there was actually shade here. Like this entire area was shady because I'm underneath this pine tree here. So I had a good temperature to work in. It is very hot out today, however. At the drawers, I've only painted the one. I got the edges painted on the other two. The can I was using was about to run out, so I went ahead and decided to hold it vertically because it was starting to dribble a little bit. That's one way you'll know a can is about to run out. Not only will it feel a whole lot lighter and the ball will sound a whole lot louder inside, but you'll notice like there'll be like little dribbles and blobs coming out. So, but if you're able to paint holding it vertically, you get less of that as the can actually becomes empty. So I went ahead and got the edges and sides done on these drawers. I covered the little keyhole things with painter's tape, and then I took a little paring knife and just sort of cut around and then pushed down really good. So, and I peeled off the excess tape. But definitely when you're going to paint, you definitely need to have like some paper towels and some like water or something to kind of remove any debris or any dust or anything that's on the surface you're going to paint, because like I said, anything like that can interfere with the performance of the paint. So also the drawers had been sitting in sun a little bit, and I didn't realize it until like I was about to paint them. I'm like, oh crap, you've been sitting in the sun. So I took some paper towels and I ran inside and ran cold water on them to the tap and wiped them off and set them in the shade, and so the cool paper towel actually helped bring the temperature down on them a little bit, and sitting in the shade also helped. So, but I'm losing my shade actually. This corner here I see I'm losing my shade, so I'm going to have to move these again and then come back to them later this afternoon. I actually also ran out of paint. As you can see, there's my car and there's my mom's car. And my dad's car is in the garage. Chris is gone actually right now. He's at a doctor's appointment. So I would go get more paint myself. However, the driveway is blocked. So I'm going to have to wait for Chris to get back, and then he and I will have to go together. Some more tips for when you're going to be doing this. You definitely want to have like plenty of cardboard or newspaper or something to protect the area around where you're going to be painting. Lucky for me, my dad had a habit of hoarding cardboard. Sorry about that. And so my mom's actually very happy that it's being used and that it will soon be thrown away. So yeah, I rarely ever actually wear clothes that lend themselves well to these kind of projects, because I do these kind of projects actually a lot more than the average person, and almost all my clothes have some kind of bleach or paint or glue residue somewhere on them. So, but also I'm also very good about really not getting it on myself that badly. So yeah, this is not quite the same thing as painting a wall inside your house. It's not going to be as bad. So, but I'll show you the little bitty drawers that go from that go on the inside of this piece of furniture. I'll walk around here. Oh, also, you might want to bring out like a little plastic bag for your trash so that you don't lose it, and also so that it's just, you don't have to walk as far to throw stuff away. I'd rather have a little bag somewhere than have a pile. So anyway, here are the little drawers. You can see the color on these knobs. It's like just like a really antique sort of brass look. There we go. And the hardware that I got is actually, let's see, what did I do with it? It's over here somewhere, I know, because there's my mirror. Okay, actually I think it might still be in Chris's truck, actually. Oh wait, no. Could it be in here? Yes, here we go. Oh, another can of paint. That'll be handy. So yeah, the hardware I picked out for the drawers on the outside looks like this. It's like a nice stainless. It's very taverny looking. I think that the style is, yeah, kind of rustic looking, like the shape. So yeah, I'm going to have 2 of these on each drawer, and I'm going to try to apply them in a manner that they're actually concealing the old holes from where the little ring hardware used to be. And actually I can show you the ring hardware. It's in here. So here we go. It was these things, and like I said, on the top drawer the rings were actually missing. I guess they got yanked out. Maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe somebody put something too heavy in that drawer and they tried to open it and it wouldn't come out. But anyway, yeah, there's the rings. They're very pretty. I'm going to save them and maybe put them on eBay or save them for another project. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, yeah, so I can't wait to actually put this piece of furniture in my bedroom. Chris is moving in here, and he needs a dresser. So I already have a nice, a big black dresser from IKEA. For those of you who've actually seen my room, like in my room tour videos, it's pretty big. It's got plenty of space in it, and so I'm going to let him use that. And I've actually got to get rid of some clothes anyway. So I'm going to be downsizing my clothing collection and then moving my stuff into that the dresser that I'm painting right now. So yeah. But anyway, I really can't get back to this project for a little while because it's really hot outside right now, and actually I have heat edema, which basically means that if I spend too much time outside in the heat, my ankles swell up really bad. My feet and ankles get big and puffy like pillows, and it's really uncomfortable and it's really unsightly. Then I have to spend the next day with my feet up and just chugging water. So yeah, but yeah, I'll get the camera back out soon when I get back to my project, and I'll definitely wrap this up, and you guys will get to see the finished product and everything eventually too. So right now I'm going to take a break. Okay, so I changed my mind. I decided to come out here and go ahead and finish the drawers, at least since I do have this can of spray paint that I forgot I had. Because while something's drying, it can be in the shade and be fine. It can just be moved to wherever shade is. I mean, there's another tree over here, although I don't want to put my stuff in the grass, because the problem with putting your spray painted stuff in the grass is if it falls over, and while the paint is still wet, then you're going to have grass and bugs and other debris sticking into your paint job, and you're going to have to sand it off and do it again, and it turns into a real frustration and sort of a nightmare. But no matter how your luck goes when you're doing a project like this, it's always worth it in the end, like you'll see. But I do want to do a quick thing for another bit of advice for people who've never spray painted anything before. You have your can, right? Now, you want to have your hair pulled back, like I do. Once you can hear the ball moving, you want to keep shaking the can for at least a minute, maybe 2 minutes, just to be on the safe side. And shake, shake, shake. Just keep going, keep going. So while I'm shaking, I'm going to talk about a method of spray painting. You want to go slow, steady, back and forth, even strokes. It's easier to spray paint if you're painting a vertical surface and you're able to hold the can vertical. Unfortunately, that's not always doable. I could set these drawers up up on their ends. Oop, wrong way. I could set them up on their ends and spray paint one end, and then when that dries, tip it up over on that end and then spray paint the other. but I don't really have a way to hold these drawers up, and I don't want them to turn into sails and get knocked over by the wind. So I'm just going to have to risk it and go over it, holding the can at an angle, because I mean I am going to go over with polyurethane anyway, so if it gets that haze on it like I was talking about, those matte spots, it's not going to be that big a deal. But I mean, I'm trying to avoid it just so that, you know, I said I'm just, you know, I want to take pride in my work, if that makes sense. If you're going to do something, it's worth doing right the first time. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a second because my arm is killing me. And then I'm going to get started painting, and I'm going to show you guys a good technique for painting. Okay, so I've got my can here. I've been shaking it for quite a while. I'm going to do my test spray and make sure nothing's dribbling or anything like that. It's making a few spots, but that's mainly because I think the can's not completely vertical. And like I said, always have a roll of paper towels or something, because otherwise you're going to get paint on your fingers. So I'm just going to tear off half of a sheet. It's hard to do with one hand. There we go. I'm just going to fold it over like so. And then what I'm going to do now is actually just kind of get it like that. You don't want to block your nozzle, but you want to protect your fingers, your hands from getting any dribble on them. See, you can see I've got some black like on my fingers there. That's because it just happens. But this will help keep it from turning your entire finger black. So what I'm going to do now, okay, shake a little more, because every time you let the can rest, the mixture is going to settle. So you got to shake it again. And now I'm just going to do, like I said, slow, even strokes back and forth. Works fine. And as you can see, that misty overspray like I was talking about, those are the particles that have exited the can but had nowhere else to go. The wind carried them away and they dried. And so now I'm going to check and see. You can see, yeah, like the uneven spots where it's going to look kind of matte. And I guess that's just going to have to be how it is in this project, as hard as I'm trying. But actually, I think I'm seeing a spot where my paint's a little thin. Go over that real quick. Okay, now I'm going to get this one. Like I said, shake, shake, shake. Every time you let the can rest, you gotta shake it. Spray a little bit, then shake a little bit. That's kind of the rule here. So, even strokes. And then, here we go. Shake, shake, shake. And, ooh, see? And you definitely want to let your paint dry before you attempt to remove any tape you've applied. If you try to remove the tape while the paint is still sticky, then what will happen is we'll just pull the paint up around with it. Like the paint that's around it will come up as well. And actually, let me see if this is dry, because I painted this a short while ago. It feels dry, but I don't trust it. I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer, because I still have to paint this front side down here, and I have to take those two pieces out, those little arms, and paint them as well. So I think I can get all this accomplished with my one last can of paint. So, but yeah, I think applying the polyurethane is going to be the hard part. Oh, and for those of you who are wondering what these two big pieces of wood are, those actually have wheels underneath. I'm going to set this paint can down. I'm going to put the can actually on top of the paper towel so it doesn't blow away. Don't want to litter. So, yeah, they have wheels underneath them. And my dad actually built these things. He built them for this very purpose, actually, to move large pieces of furniture, heavy pieces of furniture, like, you know, things that are either awkward and bulky or just too heavy for one person or just two people to handle. Of course, it did take me and Chris both working together to get this thing up onto these rollers. And I don't know how we're going to get this thing into the house and down the steps, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And I really hope it doesn't get damaged while we do this, because it would suck to go through all this trouble to paint this thing and to get it looking good and then damage it on the way in before I even get it into my room. So, but yeah, this thing actually is pretty heavy. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was expensive. I'm pretty sure the person who had it first, who could definitely afford it. Yeah, and definitely afford to just buy another one. Yeah, like I said, there's a drawer missing. The rings on the top drawer down here were missing. And also over here on the side, I thought this was kind of interesting. All these like little pock marks. Like somebody had been sticking thumbtacks or pins or something into this piece of furniture. I'm guessing it was in a teenager's room, maybe. I don't know. Based on the color, it was definitely a girl. I don't see a guy having something like this in their room. So, but I'm going to leave the back this key lime pie color just so that I can always look back and see the color that it was when it came to me. Just to kind of help appreciate my hard work a little bit more, and also people can actually see themselves, you know, anyone I show this piece of furniture to. So, anyway, alright, I'm going to take a break for a bit, because like I said, it is blistering hot out here. It's like, oh gosh, I think yesterday it maxed out like 96 degrees or something. It was extremely humid. Today it's hot, but there's less humidity. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's actually very clear out today. So, yeah, low humidity, which makes it a little more tolerable. But anyway, yeah, I gotta go take a break. I'm gonna drink some water. And then when I continue this project a little later on this afternoon, once there's more shade, because there will be more shade again. After the sun moves over that way, then this shadow here will move that way, and I'll have like a spot. All I have to do is just roll over and then just continue on. So, yeah. But also, yeah, I'm going to point out real quick the holes. There we go. There you can see it, right? Right there. Where the little rings used to be. And they had little nails holding them in, too. And I'm going to, oops, I have to go over that again. There's a spot showing. Anyway, I'm going to have to figure out a way to apply the new hardware in a manner that conceals those holes, because I don't feel like having to use wood filler. And it looks like I'm going to have to go over this again a little bit because there's some green showing. I guess I'll just do it in a minute. But anyway, I gotta get going. My camera's actually about to die and it's really hot, so whew, I'm gonna take a break. Okay, I'm back. So it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. The sun has finally gone behind some clouds, which appeared. It's gotten a little cooler out, and there's some shade here now, so I moved the desk and repositioned some cardboard under it. And I have discovered something that I'm a little bit upset by, is the fact that the top, or the desk part is not flat up against the wood like it was before, and I'm having a hard time figuring out like exactly like why, or you know, maybe the heat swelled it, or maybe it just sort of warped a little bit. I don't know, but I'm pretty unhappy about this. Let's see, oh, something drops down when I do this, and I think that the dropping down, whatever's causing that, is what's creating this problem. Like it drops and then it won't fold up properly. See? Yeah. I mean, the gap is so big I can stick my hand in there. So I'm just trying to figure out like if I'm going to address the problem at all, or what I want to do, because I think once I have this thing in my room, I'll be closing it pretty rarely. But I was thinking about putting like a little padlock or something up here. I don't know. This is very very upsetting. And see, there's like stuff coming out of the corner here. I don't know what's going on. I just know that this is extremely upsetting. I might have to give it different hinges on it. Is what I might have to do. I don't know, because these seem like, I don't know. Very upsetting indeed. But anyway, either way I have to paint it. But I think I am going to take this part off and paint it separately, and then reinstall it with different hinges later. But for the meantime, I'm going to close it, because since I took the supports out, I can't just leave it sitting like that. So yeah, I'm just having a hard time figuring out like what exactly is making this happen. You know, like what the hell happened? It was fine yesterday and the day before. I don't understand. So, oh well. Looks like I'll be taking this off of here and painting it separately. Yeah, so I decided to just take that thing off. As you can see, just looking at it, like, yeah, it's very warped actually, and I think leaving it sitting outside in the heat made it do that. However, I am going to go ahead and save the little support arms. I'm going to put their knobs back in them and put them back in there. And I'm going to save the hinges. That way, in case I am able to later fabricate a new closure slash desktop or whatever, I'll have the hardware that I need. I won't have to go buy hardware. So, oh god, it's hot out here. And I am as sweaty as can be. I mean, look, I'm just like, ew. So yeah, it's really hot out here, and I got the front part painted. And I think I do have enough paint left over to where I can touch up in this drawer, little drawer area down here, because one of the drawers I'm pretty sure is missing. Yeah, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, no, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 drawer holes, but there's only 8 drawers. I'm pretty sure it's one that's this size. So I'm gonna have to like fully like paint in one of those completely black. So I think I have just enough paint left to do that. So I'll have to get to that maybe either tomorrow or later, because right now I have to go inside and I have to make dinner. I was supposed to make hamburgers last night, but I ran out of time and I was exhausted, and I was just like, I just can't do it. So we just did takeout last night. Me and Chris did. I don't know what my mom and my uncle ate. So anyway, yeah, I'm getting eaten by bugs, and it's really hot out here, and this paint has to dry before I can do anything else with this thing. So I guess I'm gonna put the camera down and go make dinner, and I'll catch you kids when I come back out here when I feel up to it again. Oh, Jesus. Well, we got this piece down the steps. Oh, gracious. A friend of ours is over here helping. So, yeah. And I polyurethaned the drawers. I decided to go ahead and use the satin finish that was in the basement that my dad had bought some months ago. So I'm worn out. Like, we've been busting our butts doing this for the last 20 minutes. Yeah, that thing is really heavy. It's gonna go right here, like in this like general sort of area. I've got my extension cords ready, because once that thing is in place, it's going to be really tough to plug things in. But we got down the steps. Now we just got to get it into the room. He's taking a smoke break, and I'm taking a video break. And it's going to be awesome when it's done. I haven't polyurethaned the actual piece of furniture itself yet. I think what I'm going to do is polyurethane the sides. Oh, nope. Polyurethane the sides tomorrow morning, then scoot it into place, and then polyurethane like the front tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'll be putting the drawers in, and then I'll have my piece of furniture. So yeah, I'm extremely happy. I'm really excited to see how this is going to look in my room, and also it's nice to have another piece of furniture and it has like a whole bunch of little tiny little drawers you can put knickknacks in, because once I give this piece of furniture here to Chris, these 2 junk drawers in the top are going to become his. And he also is going to have that piece of furniture over there. That dresser. I'm sure you guys might remember the video when I redid that, but yeah, that came to me as a sewing machine table. The machine parts were obviously missing, but like me and my dad like painted it and fixed it up, and see there's like a spot where you put your finger in and pull this up. This, yeah, there's like a leaflet area that comes out of the top. This is not actually not a drawer, that's the handle there is just for looks. And these 2 drawers here, yeah. So yeah, I do have a video about fixing up that piece. It came as a brown wooden sewing machine table, and we fixed it up. So yeah, now it's like I had been using it as a vanity, but not anymore. I think once I get this new piece like into the bedroom, it's going to be my vanity. I'm going to have to create a new closure to go on it, because the old one, like I said, warped and it's not usable anymore. So I'm going to have to take the hardware off of it, throw the piece away, and keep the hardware, and hopefully be able to create a new closure for it sometime in the near future. because it would be really nice to be able to close my stuff, because like in my junk drawers I put stuff in there that I don't want people to find or know that I have. It's like my personal private stuff, it's no one's goddamn business. So yeah, I want to put a padlock on that shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna go right there. In that area over there. Like between like where those posters kind of end. And yeah. So. But anyway, crap. Once we have it in place and once I've made some strides getting it the way I want it, just so, I'm going to polyurethane the entire thing, the body of the furniture. And I'll probably film that and show you guys like some tips for applying polyurethane. And then it'll be done. I mean, and then by this weekend, hopefully there'll be a video uploaded, whatever. So I'm going to go now, and I'll catch you kids in a bit. So here's the finished product. I gave it a coat of satin polyurethane, and it actually turned out quite nice. The top is nice and slick and smooth. It's protected. And there's the hardware that I put on to replace the broken ones. So I tried to find something at Lowe's that would kind of match this like antiqued brass, these, you know, with this little floral design, but unfortunately they didn't really have anything that would have lent itself well to going with this piece of furniture. So my next option was to just get these, and they work fine. They're like a brushed nickel, and they kind of have that like old tavern sort of look to them, which is what I was going for. So, but yeah, there's the finished product. I did have an issue with when I put the polyurethane on this little door. I don't know if you can see it or not, but like it's kind of smeary looking. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that at some point. And you can see where the hinges used to be for the top. Someone made a suggestion for me to try a way to fix the closure without having to build a new one, and so what was suggested was that I take like some wet rags or something and put the closure with the wet rags together like inside of like a big like a plastic trash bag or something and seal it really good, and then lay it with like the bowed side like down towards the ground, and then like or put weights on either side, or put it with the bowed side up and put a heavy weight on top. The moisture plus the weight will get it to like soften up to where it can flatten itself out again. So I'm going to give that a try, and hopefully that works. If it doesn't, then I'll go ahead and just build one. But I didn't really get any filming in while I was polyurethaning this thing, mainly because I kind of had to do it on the fly. I didn't want to leave this thing out in the garage rather, and have it sustain any more damage. Because the longer you work on something outdoors, you know, you got to move it out, then move it back in. Then you got to move it out, then it has to dry, then you got to move it back in, and it's very time consuming. So I decided to just go ahead and actually just get it done quickly. So yeah, I actually did the polyurethane work for the body of this piece. Actually just right here in my room. As you can see, like, yeah, I used cardboard underneath it to protect the floor from the polyurethane. And then once the polyurethane dried, I was able to move it into place. The little things, the arms that go in here, I'm going to have to sand them down and work on them again because they got slightly, see, they got some damage. Like when I was putting the polyurethane on them, I guess it just wasn't dry enough, because I turned it over to do the other coat, and see, this side looks fine mostly, but I put it on a little heavy, and now the pieces will not go into their little holes. They go in about halfway, then they get stuck and they stop. So yeah, so here's my piece of furniture. I'm going to show you the inside of the drawer real quick, and it's real wood. It's quite heavy. Ugh, it does take some effort to open and close it. So, but I'm very, very pleased with the results. So, a tip when you're using polyurethane, definitely get some like cheap throwaway brushes that you don't care if you have to throw them away, because it's actually really hard to get polyurethane out of a brush. And once it dries, obviously the brush is no good anymore. So what I did is I just got some cheap little, let's see, where are they? They're not even in here. Cheap little like throwaway, like those little sponge on a stick things. I used those. And here's the polyurethane that I used. I used this. It's a very small can. Actually, it was already open. We already had it in the basement. So that saved me a little bit of time and money by using what was already here. It's a satin finish, which is, I mean, I wanted clear, like bright gloss, like really super shiny, bright, clear gloss. But I found this already open. It wasn't rotten or anything. I mean, this stuff does go bad. Eventually, you do have to throw it away. But yeah, so it turned out nice. So I'm very happy. Overall, I would say this project took probably a week to a week and a half, mainly because I was working outdoors and it's extremely hot outside, and then having, like, not only having myself and Chris able, to move the thing, and then actually getting this thing down the steps was insane. We actually had to get a friend to come over because Chris actually has a bad back. He's not supposed to be lifting anything, really. So he was able to like do things like scoot the rolling platform underneath it really quick while me and the other person lifted it up and that kind of stuff. So he was helpful, but yeah, we had to call a friend over, and this fucker is heavy. Let me just say that. I was able to scoot it into place on the wall by myself. I'm probably going to be very sore tomorrow, and I probably shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'm going to try to start posting DIY videos more regularly, since I kind of got out of the habit while I was living at Chris's mom's house. And if you have any questions or anything, just definitely comment below, and I guess that concludes this video. I'll catch you kids later.